everyone, welcome. We're here in London and we're going to do a demonstration here with Anastasia on scoliosis. So everyone give a big warm welcome from London. So thank you for volunteering to do this demonstration today for us for the purpose of learning how to understand the psychosomatic patterns behind scoliosis, which is something that so many of us struggle with, including myself. I had scoliosis as well. So let's start off with first by, when you start a session with your client, especially when you work with physical ailments, refer to your book, volume 1, if you feel stuck in terms of what the emotional blocks could be behind your client's psychosomatic patterns of scoliosis. Okay, so what's also really good is normally what happens is, during your session, what you can do is you can actually ask the client to read through the parts of the book and let them point out to you what they feel is applicable and what kind of like really resonates with them. And then based on that, and also with your discovery through the healing session, they're going to start and help this person to improve their quality of life. Okay? Nice. So Anastasia, let's start. So I'm going to start with her name. Because the worst thing to happen during a session is that you forget what their name is. And we're working on scoliosis. Perfect. Great. So Anastasia, tell me. So you have scoliosis. Where is it? Is it in your upper back? Yes. Your middle? Okay, just an upper back. Got it. And when we look at how your back is curving, is it curving to the left?
To the right.
Oh, so the bump is going out to the right-hand side. Got it. And what is the symptoms? What does it feel like? Is there pain?
Yeah, it's very painful at times. I have neck pain. It feels like it's sort of, it's unbalancing me.
Got it.
The one shoulder's lower, the right shoulder's
Okay.
lower than the left one.
So it's making you feel. And which shoulder is higher or lower?
Lower is the right shoulder. So
Right shoulder.
Yeah. And it pulls all that side down. It stretches my left side and it's just, you know, pulls my right side down.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Nice. All right.
And my shoulder blade's out. This one's different.
So the left shoulder blade is pushing outward more. Got it. So just based on the psychosomatic structure from what she just explained to me, when you look at shoulder blades in the middle part of the back, that's normally where you would be looking at ancestors and humiliation in your life as well. You're looking at, because the right side is a little bit lower than the left side, I would be looking at what was the dynamic between her father and her mother. Was the mother suppressing the father? Right? Was there huge conflicts in values between the two of them that created a ripple effect in their marriage, as well as also with how they raised their children? Okay, so that is already what I'm hearing from her, what she's explaining to me, just based on the physical symptoms and how the scoliosis is surfacing in her life. So, got it. So something else also here that I'm feeling,
It's like
it could,
kyphosis.
right,
Yeah.
but I'm also feeling that you're much more compassionate and emphasizing or emphasizing, whichever one it is. English is my second language, so breathe through it. That you're much more connected to how dad's feeling and to your father than probably to your mom. Is that correct? Got it. Okay, so we could probably say that it would be more likely that you could also be have taken on a lot of his emotions and feelings out of that connection that you have with him, because I'm feeling a strong connection there.
Yeah, maybe
Super
it's because
strong.
my mother's passed away.
Right.
And
But this also happened before that. Yes, exactly. So that's where we kind of want to go to. So tell me, when did you become aware of the scoliosis? When did you realize that, okay, something's wrong?
I think it was in my teens.
Got it? To more or less an age? Just more or
Around
less.
when my breast started to, you know.
Like 12, 13?
Yeah, around there.
Okay, so
13,
we'll just say, we'll just call it 13 years old. And so, during that time and age for you, I would like to know what was happening for you emotionally. And when I ask that question, I mean in the sense of at home. So we're going to split it into two parts. What was emotionally going on at home? Not necessarily at that specific age, but leading up to that age at home.
So,
Was the emotional stress? What was going on?
yeah. Okay, very stressful environment.
Okay. Yeah.
At that age, parents were discussing moving to Greece because I was born to Australia. I was born in Australia, and it felt like so. I didn't want to come.
Got it. So you felt resistance.
Yes.
What else did you feel apart from the resistance?
That they didn't take. They didn't listen to me because I wasn't asked if I wanted to come.
Got it. So your needs were not taken into consideration.
Not at all.
Got it. And how did that make you feel? Take your time.
Yeah. Sad, lonely, isolated, depressed.
Got it.
I'm angry.
Got it.
Or rage angry.
Got it. And just, you're allowed to be angry.
Yeah.
So with that anger, remember what I explained in class just the other day, that anger is a symptom, it's not an emotion. So we're looking at what did you feel just before you felt angry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just feel that anger and be okay with the fact that
Totally
it's there.
powerless.
There we go.
Totally. My God. You're a nothing.
So you were using the anger to help you to regain a sense of stability and
Mhm.
control and power,
Mhm.
the confidence. Got it. Okay. Doing really good. So along with that feeling of powerlessness, what else did you feel?
I felt devastated. I felt like the earth was pulled out from under my feet.
Got it. So loss of control, maybe something like that.
Yeah, and like
Can you explain to
I
me
was
what that-
derooted, like, you know,
Yeah.
I was rooted somewhere, and then like somebody's just derooting me and placing me elsewhere.
It's because you were born in Australia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's also be feeling disconnected from your values and
Mhm.
what you were used to, and being put in a completely foreign environment, even though you are, but you're not.
Even though
you're
I
not even-
never really fit in because I was Greek, like my
Right. Even though you were inherently Greek, it was not your
but
values.
I was
you were-
blonde and fair, and nobody, they all treated me. I didn't fit in, and then
Got it.
I had to move out, and I didn't have time to fit in. You know what I mean?
Right. So you couldn't. So what happened here? What I'm hearing her saying is that she moved to a different country and she could not re-establish
Mhm.
her own sense of self and values in her new environment, creating a discord
Mhm.
in her emotional life, which is also in the spine. Because that's where we hold our values, family values, ancestral values. And if there's conflict and a discord between that, you'll normally often see scoliosis in the person's life. Like, for example, it can also be where you might have a client where they want to let go of their religion, but their parents are constantly on top of the, you can't let go of it, you're disrespecting your entire ancestry, all this guilt and shame is put on them. So they're feeling this huge discord between what they want and what their family wants, right? But their need to find their own sense of self and values is so strong that it creates a tremendous sense of inner conflict. Because they don't have the support spine again from their family and their values in order to hold the space for them to embrace their own. Okay, so in her case, this is kind of where I feel it's more or less leaning to, and feeling that inability to establish your beliefs, your values, and having that respected, heard, and understood. Got it, okay. So having said what I just said and shared with you, how does it make you feel not being able to establish your own values and beliefs and needs in the new country that you did move to?
Isolated.
Got it.
Totally isolated.
Okay, what else?
Not belonging.
Got it.
Unstable.
There we go. Just one more. Anything else?
Fearful, and I'm just trying to get that feeling of fear.
That's okay. Take your time.
Fear of being rejected from society, not being accepted.
Got it. So as you're feeling all those feelings and just being aware of them, What's the instinctive responses?
Withdraw.
Hide.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Is there another instinct there?
I'm sort of in, I don't know if it's an instinct, it's like I'll reject you instead of you rejecting me.
Got it? Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so that's more, that's a very subtle, gentle, fighting type of
Fighting,
instinctive
yeah.
response because you're pushing away.
Yeah, it's a
Got it.
fighting instinct.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because remember, when I say fighting instinct, it doesn't always necessarily mean that you want to put your boxing gloves on. It could mean a feeling of resistance. It could be passiveness. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
got it. So that's what we have there. So now what I would like you to do, I acknowledge that the pain is also inside your back, but I really would like you to connect to that area of your back.
Mm-hmm.
And just tell me the stress that you're feeling there with the pain. Is there an emotion there with that pain? Like if that pain had a voice, what would it say to you right now?
It's anger.
There we go, anger. Anger. Anything else? And just before that anger, what did you feel?
Deep grief.
Got it. About what? What was the
About
grief?
feeling being alone.
There we go. Got it.
That loneliness brought the grief.
Yeah, it's the isolation.
Mhm.
Got it. So when you're feeling and you are aware of that pain and the grief and the feeling of aloneness, is it inside or outside of the body? We acknowledge that the pain is inside as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting a sense, is it inside or outside? Any aspects of that?
It's like here.
At the front, got it.
Yeah, and it goes at the same, it's here and here.
Got it. So front and back,
Yeah.
outside or
Mhm.
inside?
It's like more outside here and outside. And it's like I'm sandwiching.
That's okay, yeah?
Yeah. It's like it's pressure here
Mhm.
and it's outside here and it's inside here.
So it's
weird.
inside, on the back side, it's inside.
Yeah.
But in the front, it's here on the left side of the
Mhm,
front.
mhm.
Got it. So when you feel on this pressure at the front here, just very quickly, 1, 2, 3, whose face do you see?
My father's face.
Got it. Got it. And when you feel into that, and this is now when we're moving on to soul copies, because that's what it is here in this case, what you learned in the level 1 online course. So when we feel into the soul copy and it's Dad, what emotions are there?
Disappointment.
Got it. Is that the main dominant emotion that's there?
And no trust. There's
Lack of
lack
trust.
Of trust.
Got it.
I can't feel I can depend on him.
You feel like you cannot.
I cannot.
Got it. Because I can also understand why she's saying that, because the masculine figure in the house, the alpha, the leader, is the one that most likely made the decision to move, right? So it's the very strong source of masculine support that also failed her, and it challenged her trust.
Mm-hmm.
Does that resonate?
Mm-hmm. Very
Got
much.
it. Okay, got it. You're doing really good. This is perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start the emotional healing. We're going to down to acknowledgements, instincts, and then we're going to heal the soul copy. Okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Perfect. There we go. And then when you're ready, you can gently come back to me. Everyone's going, how are you? How was that?
My body was reacting to everything you did, right?
Okay, good.
Everything. I mean, I totally felt my shoulder blades pulling, trying to
Okay, got it.
pull
Yeah.
together.
Mhm.
Like, and I remember in the start I said that I felt it way back to here.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like when you were resolving the emotion, it was like something was just, pulling. And then at the part where you intuitively, it says the anger, and I felt, that there's anger there. And I'm like, is she going to get through this anger? It's so I'm like, ah! And it moved down the spine. It was moving, and I was so painful in some moments through the healing, and I felt like the fascia was like pulling me in all sort of directions. It was really weird, and even my shoulder was pulling. I'm like, what's going on? And now I have no pain. I felt extremely hot, and
I felt the heat, and I'm wondering, is she angry? Because normally when a client is angry, I feel that in my body as heat, like a heat wave, and I'm like, ooh.
And before I was freezing cold, and I was so burning, like my whole body was so burning. I'm like, I'm in flames. And now I don't have any pain, but I did feel dizziness at some point, but now I'm perfect.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now I'm like
And your
cooling
emotions?
down. Neutral. Totally neutral.
Got it. Nice, nice. Good job. So what I would like you to do is think back to that time when you were moving. Mom and Dad was arguing. There was conflict. I like to double check things. And just tell me when you're ready, when you're exploring that, what does that look and feel like to you now?
It's like, I don't give a shit, if you can find it. It's not mine. It's not even there as a picture.
Okay.
What I mean? It's like,
Yeah, nice. That's kind of what we want. That's nice. Great. And if there's anything that would be unresolved there for you, what would it be?
Just a little bit of grief.
There we go. Let's talk about the grief.
You know what? This is funny, but I left my little kitten behind.
Oh.
And she was my comfort,
I was just about to ask her, what did the cat emotionally give you that you
Yeah.
couldn't feel in your life on your own? So that was
She
comfort.
gave me comfort and unconditional love and comfort, and it was the only living being I allowed
That was your
myself to
support as
connect
well,
with.
yeah. There
So
we go.
I had to leave her behind, Fluffy, and I remember taking her to the next house, and there were children in the backyard, and I had to leave her there because and then a little boy took her and put her like on, I don't remember what it was like on, and he put her on there, and it was like she's a pilot, and he's like running around the backyard, and I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna kill her, and I felt like a tearing my heart, and it was so sad. And of course, my father didn't allow me to bring her with me, so I was very
Got it. There we go.
yeah.
Got it.
That's
So-
the only thing that I feel that that separation and that grief and that like I didn't want to leave her.
Would you like to let go of it?
Yes.
Got it. There we go. When you're ready, you can gently come back to me. How are you? New. Nice. Got it. So how do you feel?
Breathing. I feel like it's gone.
Good.
I feel I have space.
Nice. Nice. What else?
Free. I can breathe. I can move. I have space. Light.
Got it.
And calm.
Beautiful.
And peaceful.
Nice.
At peace.
And how do you feel about Fluffy?
I love her.
And she loves you.
Yeah.
So you feel neutral? Do you feel
Yeah,
complete?
I feel neutral because till the end I felt sort of guilty, like I had abandoned her and
Right.
I didn't fight enough. And I think that's what was suffocating me.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that cat played a huge role in your life.
I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So do you feel complete?
Yes.
Beautiful. Give her a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
Wow.
All right, and that's a wrap.